all of the different trainers jumping up and down, cheering for their teammates. Who do you think is going to take it here? Is it going to be Richie or is it going to be Martogalde?
These players are so close to competing in these winners finals. Take a look at their teams here. Look at all of the different Pokemon that these players have available to them. Richie there with Annihilate, one of my favorite Pokemon, recently received access to Rage Fist following a Mankey Community Day, and also a Galarian Moltres, one of the most powerful Pokemon we've seen so far this weekend.
Galarian Moltres is one of the most recent additions to this series, and you know what? It has climbed up the meta. It is almost one of the meta staples. Not surprised to see it here in these winners finals brackets. As a reminder, because this is the winners finals, that means neither of these players have actually lost a round yet.
Now, if you had to ask someone, what is the best Pokemon in Pokemon Go right now? I think many would say Feraligatr. And both of these Pokemon, both of these players have this Pokemon on their team. They have the Shadow Feraligatr. It has been the story of the show here in Sao Paulo.
Now, it's funny that you say if they're talking about the best Pokemon, a lot of people would say Feraligatr. If you're asking about the best player in the world right now, a lot of people would say Martogalde. He's coming off an amazing winning streak here. He is hot. Everyone knows his name.
So Martogalde came third in the World Championships in Honolulu, Hawaii. That secured him an automatic invitation into Anaheim next year at the World Championships 2025. He then received another automatic invitation earlier this season by winning the Lima special event. And guess what? He's earned a third automatic invitation already here at LAIC.
But Richie is also one to be keeping an eye on. He was actually the first trainer to win a championship outside of his region, winning earlier on in the 2023 season. He's a regional champion. He's ready to make a name for himself this season.
So let's take a quick look at how this works for Pokemon Go. Each of these Pokemon will have one fast attack and access to 2 charged attacks, and you bring a team of 3. You get to look at your opponent's team of 6, but each battle a team of 3, and there are best of 5 games.
Now, for those of you who maybe tuned into the broadcast a couple days ago, you know that we've been playing in a best of 3 tournament. Best of 5s are a little bit of a different beast. And Tomahawk UK, you're one of the best competitors we know. What is the mindset you have to go into from the difference between a best of 5 matchup and a best of 3?
Sometimes in a best of 3, you know you only need to win 2 games. You can opt for a cheeky strategy, try and catch your opponent out. These players have had all night to prepare for these matches, but also every game they play, they give information to their opponent, what their strategies are. When you get into best of 5, you can't so much rely on a luck or a one-off tactic. It becomes really, really difficult. There is so much at play in terms of mentality, as well as in the game.
Now, a lot of these trainers are going to be wondering, who is going to be able to take this? Is it going to be someone who's not necessarily a newcomer, but hasn't made a name for himself yet this season, like Richie? Or is it going to be Martogalde, who seems to be the giant on top right now?
Yes, and the giant on top in terms of the meta is the Shadow Feraligatr. We are expecting to see so much of it here on Championship Sunday. Both of these players have access to it. It is so fast to reach its heavy-hitting Hydro Cannon. This is why it's the reason it's one of the Twitch drops available to you. Feraligatr is king at the moment. Who will take better advantage of theirs?
We saw the players shaking hands already. They know each other. They are ready to play against each other. The main question is who will be able to pull it out of top of this first best of 3 matchup. Looking at the team compositions, is there anything that really sticks out to you in these?
Well, we talked about Feraligatr, and of course Martogalde has Jumpluff, a grass flying type Pokemon that can really threaten the water type Feraligatr. The thing is, Richie also has an Alolan Sandslash, an Ice Steel type Pokemon that has such a dominant matchup against Jumpluff that it could put Marto off bringing it.
Now, that is a really good point. You also brought up Annihilate, which recently had a Mankey Community Day, getting that they attack Rage Fist. Now, in the beginning, there was a lot of Annihilate and Primates that made it through that day 1 usage, but as we got even to day 2 and now day 3, it seems like there is still at least one in the series.
Yes, Annihilate is here. The question is, when do you bring it? Marto has lots of answers to Annihilate. He has Malamar, he has Azumarill, he has more. So it could be a case of Richie timing it to perfection as to when is to take advantage of Marto's team compositions.
We're gonna have to see. It looks like both of these trainers are getting locked into the battle. We're getting started. This is Championship Sunday. Make some noise! noise for these two trainers as they are jumping into the battle here. We got Shadow for Alligator up against Malamar.
Team game number 1 is beginning. Shadow for Alligator, we've talked about it. It's up against Malamar.
Going ahead and just getting a little bit of fast attack damage here. Now going through, it's usually going to be a little bit in favor. Going first for the Shadow for Alligator. This will hit so heavy and no protect shield used by Marto.
Marto knows that he can hang on. He doesn't want to give shields away just yet. He's going to reach an attack on this Malamar. He's about to throw it now. He gets to it. Foul play is going to come through. This will threaten the Alligator. Richie might want more value. He might opt to shield this. This reduces all of the damage just to 1.
Now 1 shield has been used already at an attack. Going for that superpower. This is going to be something that could knock out the Alligator. Both shields used by Richie here in the very first part of the matchup.
Richie's protect shields are gone. Marto still has 2 available. He comes in with this Azumarill. Azumarill is extremely bulky, and Richie immediately counter swaps it with Superior. Marto brings in the Alolan Sand Slash, a dominant matchup incoming.
Oh, not only is it dominant, look at these charge attacks from that Superior. These are both grass type attacks. They're not going to be doing too much damage to the Sand Slash, going ahead and just doing as much chip damage as possible, but this Alolan Sand Slash is gaining some speed.
Alolan Sand Slash, access to the fast attack Powder Snow, that is doing super effective ice type damage. It also has the charge attack Ice Punch, super effective damage. Again, this will threaten a knockout once Marto chooses to throw it. Here it comes, he's charging it up, he's going to go full power.
Going through it, you saw a Leaf Tornado go through, didn't get the attack drop that I think Richie was hoping for with that. Gonna go down now to this Ice Punch, and there's still energy loaded here. Gonna go ahead, but guess what? Charge attack priority going on. That means that Fur Alligator is gonna go first, get that first shield off of Marto.
That is a knockout for that Superior. Marto still has his protect shields. He's using 1 here. He sees so much value available for this Alolan Sand Slash. Drill Run coming through now. Hard-hitting ground type attack.
Marto goes ahead, knocks out that Fur Alligator. Spirit is gone, and in comes a Sand Slash of his own. But there is an energy advantage, there is a shield advantage, and there is a Drill Run coming through.
Richie is actually using Shadow Claw as the fast attack on his Alolan Sand Slash. This is a ghost type attack. It means it isn't resisted in the mirror. It got some damage off. It tanked that Drill Run well, and now Marto has come in with the Azumarill. It's reached a play rough now.
Play rough coming through, usually not that effective against a Sand Slash, but when it's this low of health, when there's no protect shields remaining, it looks like Marto is going to go ahead and take game number 1.
What a way to start things off on Championship Sunday. Martogalde with the momentum takes game number 1. Alolan Sand Slash goes down. Azumarill showing just how impressive its bulk is.
A lot of trainers, when you talk to them, say, who do you think is going to win this matchup? A lot of them say, Martogalde. Look at him. Look how strong he has been this season. And I think that game 1 showed an incredible dominance in his play and position. But Richie has been doing incredible plays throughout this weekend. We've seen so many catches. We've seen so many heads-up plays. I wouldn't be surprised to see a comeback from him right now.
So Marto opted for the strategy of taking 2 shields from his opponent very, very early. Malamar charges to its attacks very quickly. It was able to tank this Hydro Cannon here and still reach 2 attacks. Marto then had 2 shields available as well as dominant alignment. When he put that Alolan Sand Slash onto the Superior, things started to look really good for him.
I mean, the Superior was a high risk, high reward, but there's a Sand Slash on the other team, but I think Richie's probably thinking the same thing, saying, you brought that Sand Slash? You know I have an Annihilate, right?
There is an Annihilate available for Richie. Martogalde playing strong to Annihilate in the lead with that Malamar, also having Azumarill in the back, and then protecting that fragile Alolan Sand Slash. Remember, Ice and Steel type, double weak to fighting. Is it worth the risk? You cannot afford for your Alolan Sand Slash to be up against an Annihilate.
Now we have a lot of teams there here, and if you're looking at the team of Marto, he has actually a double water strategy with both that Shadow for Alligator and the Azumarill. Azumarill was the top used Pokemon in the Latin America International Championships, and we've seen it throughout this weekend. We can see why. It just has so much bulk to its name.
One of the other immensely bulky Pokemon in the meta at the moment is Clodsire, a poison and ground type Pokemon. Many players have opted to pair Feraligatr with Clodsire, but at the moment, the ice and water Pokemon that Marto has available to him look really, really strong. I think the players are locked in. We're about to get into this game number 2.
Oh my goodness, Martogalde has once again found his mark. That Alolan Sand Slash matched up against Galarian Moltres. We see a quick pivot into a Shadow for Alligator, a nice safe swap here in the meta, and going ahead and just getting up a ton of energy, going for that charge attack priority, it will once again go to that Shadow for Alligator, getting that first shield off of Marto.
What a great lead for Marto, leading the Ice-type Alolan Sandslash into the Flying-type Galarian Moltres. Richie immediately comes in with the Water Shadow for Alligator, resisting Ice-type attacks, and now using a Protect Shield against this Drill Run. There is one Protect Shield still available. Marto's going to come in with the Water Fairy-type Azumarill, try and sponge all of this Hydro Cannon damage.
Now, on paper, this looks like it could be dominant for the Azumarill, but the problem is for it is it paces so slowly to its charge attacks that, as you can see, Hydro Cannon #1 going through, not very effective, but keep an eye on that health bar. If Richie wants to use another Protect Shield, that Azumarill is going to get very low.
Play Rough, a Fairy-type charge attack. It's slow to charge up, but it hits hard. Richie is going to use his second Protect Shield. Shields are down, and he comes in with that Clodsire. Clodsire is a Ground-type Pokemon. It will take super effective from these bubbles. It will also take super effective from this Ice Beam that is about to land. No Protect Shields remaining for Richie.
Richie was in this position before. He used both of his Protect Shields earlier on, but he knows this time the Clodsire can take it. Wants to get a little bit more energy, and if you're Richie, he's going actually for the Stone Edge. Now, this doesn't do as much damage, but I think he thinks at this range, plus the Poison Stings, he's going to come out with some energy to throw at whatever comes back in.
Super effective Poison Stings available to that Clodsire, but Stone Edge was not enough. Martogalde reaches this Ice Beam. This is massive for the Argentinian.
Going ahead, letting that go through. Ice knocks out that Clodsire, coming back in with the Feraligatr. There's a lot of energy, but there are no Protect Shields remaining. We still have that Galarian Moltres that's still going to be faced up against that Alolan Sandslash as the next Feraligatr takes the field.
Richie wants to draw Marto's last shield away. Marto knows that he has a dominant matchup with Alolan Sandslash against Galarian Moltres in the back. He's going to use his last Protect Shield, and now the Galarian Moltres comes in. The problem is, Feraligatr has access to Ice Beam as well. Is Marto going to throw it? Here it comes. This is going to do a massive amount of damage.
Counting right before the Ancient Power was going to be ready to go. This has been unleashed, and the Moltres falls from the sky.
One-hit knockout! Galarian Moltres goes down. The Feraligatr returns. Martogalde is in a great position here.
Richie trying to do everything he can. He wants that Feraligatr out of the way. There's no energy on the Alolan Sandslash. We actually know that the Feraligatr wins charge attack priority. This is a Shadow. He is going very low at this point. Is this Hydro Cannon enough?
Richie begging. He needs this Hydro Cannon to knock out. That is his only chance of victory. He waits. He gets the knockout! That is massive! Richie takes game #2.
Richie, with his back against the wall, says, don't worry, Feraligatr is on my side. That Moltres did all it could, absorb all of the energy from both that first and back Pokemon, but Richie going ahead, taking that game with Hydro Cannon after Hydro Cannon.
That was an incredible battle. Both trainers doing everything they could, holding on to the very end. Taking a moment now, they're going to consult with the judges here. They're just going to check that everything that happened in that game happened according to plan. They want to ensure that the game operated entirely correctly before they proceed. These are the crucial stages of this competition. Everything needs to go correctly for both of these players. They know how much is on the line.
Now, and every time that you use, every turn is a half a second. So basically, if you end up not getting your fast attack through or something didn't happen the way you wanted to, it can go down to a very split-second thing. So I don't blame them, for taking a moment or two to just make sure everything went according to plan. But let's go ahead and talk about the plan of Richie to be able to go through that hard team composition. You have a Galarian Moltres in the lead. There's an Alolan Sandslash and an Azumarill on that countered team.
Well, what we can see is that Richie is really relying on his Shadow for Alligator. He is letting his Clodsire go down. He is letting his Galarian Moltres go down. And he is hoping that Shadow for Alligator can sweep every game. The reason that this match is under review, as Amanda said, every half second in Pokemon Go is a turn. And if a player misses a turn, then that could prove crucial. So the judges are just checking, was there a turn missed for either of these players, and to what extent did it impact that game? If they felt that it did impact the game, then there will be a rematch. But regardless, both players have elicited more information from each other. Marto is recognizing, look how much my opponent is leaning into Shadow for Alligator. And I think it makes a lot of sense.
So what do you do if you're Marto in that situation, saying, okay, I think I played everything, basically right. I called the lead. I had a great backline against it here. If that Feraligatr is so strong, what am I going to do to counter it? Is it jump bluff time?
Jumpluff is such a risky Pokemon to bring. It does have access to Energy Ball, a grass-type charge attack that will do devastating damage to that Feraligatr. But we saw there, Feraligatr also has access to Ice Beam. It knocked out Richie's Galarian Moltres. Richie could use Ice Beam on his own Shadow Feraligatr to potentially one-shot the Jumpluff. Grass, flying, double weak to Ice-type damage.
And I think that at this point, both of these trainers are just wondering, is this the time for me? What do I need to do to be able to secure my spot on that winner side of the bracket? Martogalde needs 2 more games to be able to stay, to go into the grand finals, and Richie looks like he has tied up the series as both of these trainers are going to go into that game too.
These players are focused. They are locking in. This is a best of 5, as we've said, so there are still so many games to play.
And at this point, think of if you're a teammate and a friend, I know that you've been in this position before, Tomahawk. What do you think you do when you're faced off against someone that you know so well, that you've played against so many times? Do you try new strategies in this sort of format, or you say, okay, no, I need to rely on what it took to get me into this position, to get into this winners finals already?
Sometimes you need to invite your opponent into bringing certain Pokemon. You can use certain lines of 3 in your first couple of games. Say, hey look, I am leaning into this Feraligatr. You need to consider bringing an answer to it, and then suddenly changing strategy to try and predict that in advance.
Okay, so we actually have an update here. It would have been a rematch between these two trainers, but like we discussed before, these trainers know each other, they know the Pokemon that they're using, and Richie knows that he would actually lose that charge attack priority between the Feraligators, so he's conceding the match there, and the game number 2 will go to Marto with the 2-0 victory so far.
So just to clarify there, when 2 Pokemon choose to throw a charge attack at the exact same time, the Pokemon with the higher attack stat will get charge attack priority. It will get to throw the attack first. The judges reviewed and determined that Martogalde lost a turn, which meant that he wasn't able to throw on charge attack priority, and it did impact the game. What that would normally result in is a rematch. Richie, as we've said, they are teammates. He said, well, hold on a minute. If my opponent would have been able to throw on charge attack priority, I know that he would have won that game. I am willing to give him that game. The score is now 2-0. Martogalde needs 1 more game to win these winners finals.
Let's go ahead and also give a really heads up and like applause to Richie for that, because that's not something that is necessary to do. This is because he got that rematch. He could have just gone for a rematch. It would have been still a score of 0-1 at that point. But Richie, knowing, okay, I would have lost that matchup, saying, okay, fair is fair. Go ahead, give that game to Marto. That's going to make my comeback even sweeter.
Richie knows that if you want to win, you need to win in the right way. This is why Richie is such a popular player in the community. He invites so much respect, so much support. Both of these players have so much support in the crowd, and that is a great show of sportsmanship here.
Everyone's been saying that Richie is the most positive person that they've seen in this tournament so far. That's why we were joking around that he has to use Annihilate with Rage Fist just to counterbalance out how nice he is. But even though he's nice, I think he's going to start playing a little bit mean here against Martogalde.
Yes, we know that Richie recognizes the potency of his Shadow Feraligatr, but he's also seeing that Marto is really leaning into that Alolan Sandslash. How do you balance the two?
Now, at this point, too, since there is that Superior on the side, we saw it faced up against that Alolan Sandslash. Is it too risky to bring it in? If you've seen that both Game 1 and 2 Martogalde's bring it in, but no, we don't even care about that anymore. We're going straight into game number 3. We got Shadow Feraligatr against Malamar, pretty much the same as Game 1.
This is the same team compositions from each side as Game 1. Shadow Feraligatr coming through. We saw what happened in Game 1. It was a Feraligatr throwing a Hydro Cannon first. This time, Martogalde is going to go for that foul play, drawing the shield from Richie immediately.
Still getting that shield, however, and last time Richie went down 2 shields at the beginning. We'll have to see if he wants to do it again. There's a little more health knocked off of the Malamar at this point, but Malamar still content to take it all, knows it can take it, knows it can get to another attack.
Marto has opted to build a very bulky Malamar. That means it can reach 2 attacks before it goes down. Richie, recognizing that Malamar was reaching that superpower, throws Hydro Cannon on charge attack priority.
Going for that, Marto actually shields us up because he wants to get off the attack, forcing Richie to make a decision. Do you want to do it again? Do you want to go 2 shields down? This time Richie says, no, I learned from my mistakes here. That Feraligatr goes down, but this is a little bit of farm for whatever comes in.
I like this adjustment from Richie, realizing that he needs a Protect Shield in this endgame. The difficulty is we can see that Serperior there. We know that in the back, Serperior is going to have a really tough time against Alolan Sandslash. Serperior is a Grass-type Pokemon, taking super effective from Ice, but for now, we've got Alolan Sandslash for Richie up against Marto's Azumarill.
Still one Protect Shield on each side. Drill Run coming through. Azumarill still in the green. Now, neither one of these charge attacks are really going to do that much damage to the Alolan Sandslash. No shield used by Richie at this point, but I don't think he knows how valuable that Pokemon actually will be.
Marto also has a shield available. Both of these players might be realizing that Sandslash could be their key to victory. Richie is hoping that there is a Pokemon in the back that Serperior is good against, but honestly, I'm not sure that there is because Azumarill was the primary target for it.
I think Marto is hoping in the back, okay, he's thinking, okay, he hasn't swapped out yet. If this is an Annihilate in the back, I'm in a world of hurt. If this is the Serperior, I am going to go on. We're going to see it soon. You saw he was about to click to switch out here, but instead, throwing the Drill Run. Still no Protect Shield from Martogalde, but look how low this Sandslash is.
As soon as Serperior comes in, we're expecting Marto to come in with his Alolan Sandslash. Richie recognizes it, he nods his head, he knows his opponent has out-team compositioned him, yet once again, Marto is in the driver's seat here.
Ice Punch coming through here, no Protect Shield remaining, no, one Protect Shield remaining here. Now, if you notice, Richie is on Leaf Tornado, which does lower the attack of the opposing Pokemon, doing everything he can at this moment just to try to be able to say, okay, let's make those Ice Punches not hurt as much. Let's see if this time I can get that attack debuff.
50% chance of an attack drop, and he gets it. That is a massive shift there, but will it be enough? He's going for another one, begging, keeping his fingers crossed. He needs as many attack drops as possible.
Going for it, number 2. Will he be lucky twice in a row? It's not very effective, but he doesn't get it either. Oh, he did!
That is a massive attack drop for this Alolan Sandslash. This Ice Punch is still super effective. How much damage will it do? Your attack has been harshly dropped twice in a row. Is this a redeeming moment? Look at that! The Serperior holds on, and the Alolan Sandslash comes in!
Alolan Sandslash catching here. Richie has been catching time after time here. This is now taking out the Alolan Sandslash, but there is still a fully loaded Serperior in the back going for yet another Leaf Tornado.
It gets the shield. The final shield from Martogalde is down. This is now a race for that final attack. Whoever reaches it first will win this game. Martogalde is there. Martogalde gets the Ice Punch. He will win.
He says, okay, it might be debuffed, but Serperior, you need to cool off here. I need to take this game 3-0, and Martogalde goes into the Grand Finals!
3-0. Martogalde wins the winners finals here in Sao Paulo, Brazil. What a show!
Proving his dominance at Worlds, proving his dominance in Lima, now proving his dominance here in Sao Paulo. Martogalde says, this isn't a fluke. I know my Pokemon.
There is a reason that this man is considered one of the best on the planet, and he has shown it again here.